Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to show you a model or a model and a concept and a design which is done by myself. So I'm the first one, and I want to represent you. I want to show you a model, a design that was in a philosophical and in a metaphysical way approached about that object, a triangle. So it's not a triangle, it's not a casual triangle, it's Jakubczyk's, which is my last name, Jakubczyk's triangle. So what is so special about this triangle I'm going to show you about is that I approached it in the metaphysical, in a philosophical way. As you guys know me that I always approach things in a observation way, investigating it, and in a metaphysical, philosophical way. So I asked myself, how would you explain a triangle? So I approached it in a philosophical way, in a metaphysical way, what I think what a triangle is, and how I would define triangle in a metaphysical way, in a philosophical way. So I created then a model, and this is what I'm gonna show you right now. I prepared it a little bit, so it's not a casual triangle, it's not the common triangle as we see everywhere. This is the Jakubczyk's triangle. So this is now from a philosophical, metaphysical approach, and I'm writing a little introduction about it, and it's very interesting because as more I was getting into it, the more I seen in that triangle, in the Jakubczyk's triangle. So let me go back to it again. So I'm introducing you Jakubczyk's triangle. Jakubczyk is my last name, and I was asking myself, how would you define or explain a triangle, right? The object triangle. And as you guys know, I approach it, as I said previously, always in a metaphysical way, in a philosophical way, in a psychological way to those things, because it's for me more interesting and more deeper to go in those things. So as we know, a triangle looks like this, right? That's the objective triangle. So I was investigating by myself, how would I explain, how would I make a presentation, how would I make a metaphysical, philosophical, psychological explanation, how I would define a triangle. And when I looked at a triangle for hours, as you guys seen on some pictures, I'm just laying down and look at it, and just thoughts arises, I'm watching it, and then I come onto very interesting, significant discovery about a triangle. What you see in a mathematical way, objectively, is that it's an object and it's a triangle. Now, when I go in a philosophical way, that's how I always approach philosophical in the metaphysical, then I looked about what does this triangle actually represents. So I was thinking about, and I looked at it, what it does and what it do. So I saw this triangle, it's pure, and I gave it a own, by discovering it, I gave it a own definition how I would define a triangle, which is the spectacular, amazing, interesting, fascinating, powerful thing about Jakubczyk's triangle, which I'm going to show you, is that what you see here, it covers actually three a triangle is actually three major factors or three major principles. It represents three principles or three major factors or three essence, which is the location, which is location. The other thing what I see is the connection, and the third one what I see is the area, which is so that's what I would define if someone asked me, how would you define a triangle? And if you see, I haven't approached it in a mathematical way or in another way. I approach it in a metaphysical and a philosophical way, that the triangle, and not any triangle, it's only Jakubczyk's triangle, which is my last name. That's my own formula and my concept and my design and my model, that this triangle has three significant essences, principles, and factors, which is the triangle represents first the location, then the connection, and then the area. Meaning, without the location, without the connection, there wouldn't be an area. So then I was thinking deeper into a business model. It's just popped up in my head, a business model. If you control the location and the connection, then you control the whole area. And one cannot be without the other one of these two. To have a connection, there must be a connection between A and B, which is the location. You have to have a location so you can build up a connection between those locations. And if you build up a connection on this location, you have created an area, meaning you have controlling over this space, this area, right? So Jakubczyk's triangle, in a metaphysical, philosophical way, is, someone asked me how would you define a triangle, I would define it like this. That's what represents for me the Jakubczyk's triangle. Because I see that the function and what it does is it represents locations, it represents a connection, and with the locations and connections you control an area. So it's first the location, the next one is the connection, then the last is the area. So on Jakubczyk's triangle, again, Jakubczyk is my last name, on Jakubczyk's triangle, my definition of a triangle in the metaphysical, philosophical way is that this triangle represents, and it's building up on three essences, three factors, three principles, which is the location, the next one is the connection, and the third one is the area. So I bet now, once you have grasped this, a lot of dozens, thousands of ideas pops up in your head. I know, that's why I'm representing you my first Jakubczyk's triangle concept and model and design of Jakubczyk's triangle is based, the main factors, the base principles and the essence to control, to create a space area, right? So I hope you like my presentation, this Jakubczyk's triangle, and I approached it, as you guys always know, in a philosophical, metaphysical approaching, investigating it, thought process, stuff like that, human mind, etc. And this is, if someone would ask me how do you define a triangle, I would define it like this: that a triangle represents and is the basis of a strategy, of a, I don't want to go any further on, but it's because it will pop up a lot of ideas in your mind because of Jakubczyk's triangle. So that's what it represents: location, the connection, and the area. If you have the location and the connection, you control this area. And one cannot live by itself without the other two. If you want to cultivate it, if you want to make it bigger, you need those three. And you have to be the observer, you have to be who owns these three. And now you can divide it, that's the second movie I'm going to make it. So I hope you enjoy it. That's my own concept, my own model, my own design, Jakubczyk's triangle. I approach it from a philosophical, metaphysical way, what a triangle represents for me in my investigation, my observation, that Jakubczyk's triangle theory represents three principles, three factors to grow, which is the location, the connection, and the area. So thank you for watching. I hope a lot of ideas gonna pop up now in your mind. All right, and I figured out all by my own. Thank you for watching. Bye.